Hello everyone, today I'm coming to you with another video of foreign coins that I picked up from the Fall 2021 Tennessee State Numismatic Society Convention held in the outskirts of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And like my previous videos, we're going to look at coins that came from a 5 for $1 bin. This particular dealer also had tokens, and this dealer is one that I've purchased from many times over the years because I've also seen him at the Nashville Flea Market, although I didn't see him at the October flea market. I think October was the month I went. Maybe I went in September. Whichever month was the first one they opened up indoors. He was not there, and this particular dealer had been skeptical whether or not he would ever be back at the flea market in Nashville. But let's take a look at some of these coins. We have 3 rows of coins and 1 row of token at the end. And so one thing you're going to notice is that a lot of these coins have been cleaned, and his bin, for whatever reason, had a lot of cleaned coins in it this time. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we look at some of these coins and then again at the end. The first 4 we're going to look at are all from the country of, I have to remind myself here, Luxembourg. So let's take a look here. We have Charlotte Grande, Duchess of Luxembourg. And we're going to start off with our very first clean coin. This one dates back to 1930. We can get it to focus there, flip it over. This one is 5 centimes. And so how can you tell this coin has been cleaned if you're kind of new to it? If you look closely, there are some scratches on the shiny surface, but the number one tell on something like this is normally if the dirty spot is going to be if it's very clean except or nice and shiny, except for the areas in and around the raised portion. So if you look around the 5, it's dirty. Around the letters of centimes, it's dirty there. If you look around the stalk of wheat or the ribbons on the side, that's where it's dirty because that's harder to clean. But otherwise, it's a nice and shiny coin. And so there might be a lot of debate in the coin community on whether or not to buy something like this. But we're starting off with 4 coins from Luxembourg that I did not have. That one is the first one. Next up, this one is beaten up, maybe also cleaned as well. We have 25 centimes. Not too much going on the front side. Flip it over, and we've got, instead of having a monarch, we just have their symbol of a lion right here. Grand Duke of Luxembourg, dated 1920. Next, another coin that definitely has been cleaned. And this one even has kind of they may have tried to change the color on it because it almost has like a reddish tint on certain places around the harder to clean spots. Maybe they used a different clean to try and really get up in there. But this one's going to be 10 centimes. And Luxembourg, 1924. This side's in pretty good shape. Not as obvious cleaning on that side. And then the last one is pretty well worn. 5 centimes. This one appears to be made out of zinc. Even the letters are worn down, not as easy to read on this one. So we've got 1915 from Luxembourg. Okay, the next coin does not appear to be clean. In fact, it looks like it's pretty much in uncirculated shape. This one is going to be from the Falkland Islands, 1 cent from 1998. And I probably already had this coin, but who knows if I had this coin in such uncirculated condition. And so while we're looking at this, we're going to take a moment and compare a couple of coins that when these two coins were both uncirculated, they were probably the same color. And then, you know, if you think of a penny that's been around for a while, it's going to turn kind of a brownish color. And then when you clean it, it might get nice and shiny, but it's not going to be the same color, the same copper color as it was when it's uncirculated. So that's, of course, one of the many reasons why people are against cleaning coins. But this particular coin from the Falkland Islands was in nice shape. This next one might be hard to recognize if you haven't seen one like it already. First of all, it almost looks like Z, U, 3, U, U, S, U, and then like sort of a J. Flip it over. At least they use numbers we recognize because it's 20 of something. And it's from 1994, but can't really recognize the alphabet. Well, this is going to be a coin from Armenia, which I certainly don't see very often, so I'm glad to pick up this aluminum coin that was practically uncirculated. Next up, Republica Oriental del Uruguay, 1969. And the Uruguay coins from this time had a sun on them. Since a lot of the coins in the lot had been cleaned, this one almost, this one's harder to tell, but it does have a shine that makes me think that it still had been cleaned, but can't really say for sure. This is going to be 10 pesos. It's hard to say if a coin that is 52 years old like that is likely to be as uncirculated or if it has been polished at some point. Next one, another one obviously cleaned. Cyprus, 1/2 piastre, 1949. This is when they were of a British rule. And we have King George V, 6th, I should say. Next we have one that I don't think has been cleaned that is also in nearly uncirculated condition. Another aluminum coin that does have a nice luster to us. And so this one is going to be from Vatican City. It has the name of the Pope, or as they would call it, the Pontiff. And I believe that's going to be John the 23rd. £2, and the date on that one is 1960. So Vatican coins change quite often. I wonder if they essentially treat them like souvenirs there, because they're not that easy to find, but for how small of a city it is, or how small of a country with its own currency, they are quite easy to find relative to how many people actually live there. So I suspect a lot of people show up and pick up coins from there and keep them as souvenirs, so that's how they get kind of traded around a lot. Next up, we have a coin from India. This one has not been cleaned, but it does have a tiny little bit of corrosion on it. This one celebrates Indira Gandhi with the dates of 1917 to 1984. $50, forget if that's pronounced pace or paise. India. Next coin, and after I got this, I realized I probably already had it. This is a Russian coin, actually I should say Soviet Union coin, from 1933, a 15 kopeck coin. This was an unusual design compared to a lot of the more easy to find Soviet coins where it just says 15, a big 15 and a kopeck, where it looks like a person has actually hammered this into a shield for 15 kopeck. So it was kind of an unusual design in the earlier Soviet days. And so, again, I think this one has been cleaned, although it's still kind of grimy on this side. But anytime you see a coin where the details are very worn, such as, I mean, the entire body of the engraver there is very well worn, but it has any kind of shine to it, that's a pretty good sign that it's been cleaned. But I still picked it up, and I'll talk about that here at the very end. Our next clean coin is from Sudan, and a lot of their coins do have this look of a camel with a rider. The date on this one is going to be 1950 something. If you can see the date there, it looks like 1907 on the left with the Arabic number on the right. Well, the 1 and the 9 are definitely 1900s. The 0 in Arabic is actually their 5, and their number that looks like a 7 I actually think is a 6. But I need to go back and double check that. But this is I believe that symbol is a 2, so this is probably a 2 millim coin. Next one is from a place that you don't find very often, Rhodesia and Nyasland, 1957, half penny. Now, many of you have possibly heard of Rhodesia, but Rhodesia and Nyasland are a lot less common. Flip it over, and it has Queen Elizabeth II written around the side, but of note, it's got a couple of giraffes on here. I've got a niece-in-law that really likes giraffes. And certainly, this might be my first circulating coin with a giraffe on it. But if I'm not mistaken, Rhodesia eventually became part of Zimbabwe. You'll also be able to find coins that say Southern Rhodesia. So there was, I guess, a lot of political turmoil over the 1900s in that area. Next coin, an older 100-year-old Brazil coin. Smaller denomination than any that I usually find back from that old, which is why it's also a smaller coin, but this is going to be 20 reais. Details are pretty poor on that coin, but I don't think I had it at all. Then our last coin, a small aluminum coin. You look at the date there, it looks like it starts the 20, but that's because Nepal uses the Nepalese calendar, which is very different than ours, and it makes them look like they're a few years ahead of us. All right, so that's $3 worth of foreign coins. I now have $1 worth of tokens, and like I said, these were 5 for $1. This first one is of a token from the popular tourist attraction south of the border, which is South Carolina. Among my other hobbies is photography, mostly of Tennessee, but in this case, anything that would be considered an old-fashioned tourist attraction, or actually, I really like the kitschy tourist attractions. That's certainly what we have here. It's where I-95 crosses from North Carolina to South Carolina, and so they built a Mexican-themed south of the border tourist attraction, and this is representative of, they have a large tower with their mascot called Pedro, and then you go up into the hat, the sombrero, and it's an observation deck, and so Pedro is holding a sign that says south of the border. Flip it over, and it says it's a good luck souvenir, and I think we have a sleepy Pedro up against a cactus. Pretty dirty condition, but I still think that's kind of fun. Next one is, there's all kinds of tokens for JFK, and I have never seen this one. I don't know anything about it. It doesn't really give a lot of details. On the front, it just had his portrait and his birth and death year date. The back, it has the presidential seal and or the United States shield, and with eagles, and that's about all we've got on that one. My mother-in-law is a JFK enthusiast, and so I'm going to give that to her. Next one is a transportation token. These are usually my favorite tokens. We have one fare from SEPTA, which is a horrible sounding name of the transportation from the Philadelphia area. And a little bit tarnished here, but they call it a bicentennial token. I guess that means it was made in 1976. And they've got a, if you can see it through the tarnishing on here, that is Independence Hall, perhaps the most famous building in Pennsylvania. A couple more smaller transportation tokens. One of the things I like about them is they tend to be laser cut or die cut or whatever you want to call that. This one has the shape of a bell on it. It says fare check, and it's going to be from the Lehigh Valley Transit Company. And then they also tend to have detailed grooves and things like that in these tokens. Another one, good for one fare, has an A, and then like the four notches that make a partial circle on it. Flip it over, the A stands for the Augusta Coach Company of Augusta, Georgia. So I'd like to get your opinion and the thoughts down pretty much in the comments. Let me know your opinion on clean coins if you're someone like me that cares more about the collecting a typesets of pretty much all foreign countries. There are certainly some clean coins right here. I know a lot of serious collectors would see a clean coin and shy away from it. Their first thought is, if you had a Morgan dollar that was grimy, but then it was cleaned, it would lose value because it's been cleaned. And I get that, because it kind of loses some of its, it damages it, and it takes away the historic aspect of it, and the thought of a coin being cleaned just erases the collectability from it. I get that. But again, that would be for a coin of substantial value. These are all coins that you find in my case, a 5 for $1 bin. In fact, several of these are coins that I had never seen before, and I picked them up because after collecting coins for 20 years, I've never found any of these. And so my thinking is I'd rather have a clean coin than not have the coin at all. But then I look at it and I think, yeah, I mean, it is kind of pretty that it looks nicer, but then I also think that something's just not right with it. As I had the comparison of these two coins earlier, the color of the coin just wasn't right, or seeing some of the details on it. But this Rhodesia Nyasland coin is probably significantly rare to find. That might be only my second coin from Rhodesia and Nyasland, and so yeah, I just haven't been able to pick it up using traditional methods. It's not like I went around specifically looking for that coin, so I don't know how much I would have been willing to pay for it if I just stumbled across it in decent condition. But for whatever reason, this dealer had a bucket full of clean coins, and that's not typical for him. It does seem to me like clean coins are popping up a lot more just in the past year than I'm used to seeing. And so I don't know if there's someone out there who is cleaning a bunch of coins and then releasing them to the public. I don't know how you'd clean coins that fast, but I've seen videos of people putting them in rock tumblers, and that seems like kind of a waste. But to go to that kind of effort to clean a coin, put it in a rock tumbler, that's really going to get it scratched, I think. But I've seen so many of them that you have to be doing them some kind of process to do it really quickly. And so my personal thought is I would rather have a clean coin than not have the coin at all, and I'm not sure that I would necessarily upgrade it or pay anything special to upgrade a coin like that. But when I try and sell coins, let's say I were to get a duplicate of one of these and I were to try and sell it, I'd feel guilty for putting it in a bulk lot, because I don't want to be a seller of bulk coins. I don't really sell that much, but when I do, I usually sell in large lots where I've actually pulled out specific coins that I want to put in them. So it's good for the collection, harder to resell unless I disclose, hey, this is a clean coin in here. So like I said before, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on that. Would you collect, for those of you who are like me and specialize in collecting quantities of foreign coins, do you like the clean coins? Let me know. And if you say that no, that's just you look at it and it makes you cry because it's damaged, then fair enough. That's I would certainly think that if I saw an otherwise expensive coin that's been ruined like that. But should I let my opinion of how others collect tell me that I shouldn't like a coin just because they don't like a coin? And no one has to tell me what I'm going to like. And so I'm kind of mixed on it. I still purchased them. As you can tell, I purchased these because all of these are new to my collection. So if you like this video, I do make a playlist called the C-Mid-10 Foreign Coin Showcase, where I show off a lot of the other coins that I pick up in this manner, and also just go through some of the coins in my collection. So thanks for watching. Bye.